Good afternoon, everybody. This is Cindy Clark from PAC-B TV on this glorious Friday afternoon. And I am here this afternoon with Andrea Gagas from Energy Lounge. And Andrea is a Reiki, I always get that wrong because I want to pronounce it Reiki. She is a Reiki master who's been involved in Reiki for over 15 years. Now, I'm sure a lot of people don't know what Reiki really is, as I didn't until I got a little bit more involved in it, had a session, this type of thing. But why don't you explain, Andrea, why you got involved, first of all,
okay,
how you got involved, and exactly what Reiki is.
Okay, so when I first started, so back in 2008, I was looking for a new way to live life. Everything that I was told or felt that was expected of me just didn't work for me, and I just felt like I was failing. I just kind of asked one day, I don't know if it was God or whatever, to learn a better way to live my life, a better way to view things and to experience things. And all of a sudden, just all of these things kind of started coming into my path. So my mom gave me a book, The Secret, which was about manifesting and the law of attraction and different things like that. I was hesitant to read it because I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Ended up one night picking up the book, reading it. Automatically tears started coming from my eyes because it resonated so much with something in my soul. And I just went through the book. Jack Canfield was one of the contributors to that book, he's an author and a motivational speaker, and he writes Chicken Soup for the Soul books.
Okay, I've read those, yeah.
One night I was sitting there and there was a commercial and he was coming to the Turning Stone and doing a talk, and I had no idea what it was on, but I recognized the name, and something inside of me said, let's go. So I called a few friends, my mom, a couple people I was selling real estate with, because prior to this, I was a real estate associate broker for 16 years here. And I also had my broker's license in Florida. So we went and walked in, and on the marquee, it says Jack Canfield, Law of Attraction. And I was just like, all right. And this is like right at the beginning. Yeah, so it was pretty amazing. And we went in and listened, and everything was amazing. Ended up at the end getting some books from him, got it autographed. And then a few months later, I ended up getting a call from one of his coaches. Well, at the same time of that, I was going through some personal things that were devastating to me, and the timing was very interesting. They said we could get into this coaching program, and it was a very big investment, and I was like, I'm not sure how I could do this. Law of Attraction. Made a phone call, asked a couple of favors, said that was something I was interested in. I didn't know about it, but it felt very strong to me for my personal growth and healing, and ended up having the money that I needed and went through coaching. That transformed into stumbling into Reiki. My office mate in real estate was doing it and had mentioned it a few times, and I still wasn't fully well versed on it, and went to do some things for real estate in a nearby town and saw this sign and went up, and it was a healing studio. But they were closed, so I went and did this thing, went back, ended up meeting they were open, met this amazing person, beautiful person, and that was my entry into energy work. So I started getting sessions and studying and learning, and I didn't just do it, I jumped into it with everything I had, because it was like my soul, my body, everything was just absorbing all this information and all this learning and this new perspective. So it started teaching me Reiki. Reiki is universal light energy. So
what does that mean, universal light energy?
So universal is like, say, spiritual or heaven sent or God sent, like our universe, right?
Okay.
And then life energy is we're all made of energy. We work on it, we feed off of it, it's part of who we are. So Reiki teaches you how to work with energy, because energy can be written, it's spoken, it's felt, all the movements that in your arms, right? We can move everything. So you start to learn word usage is something I incorporated into what I was doing. You can't affirm having a happy day if you say, I'm not going to be angry today. Right? So it's like all the, it's there's so many different aspects of it. To share it in a simple summary is not easy because there's so many different pieces of it. It's word usage, it's healing, it's perspective, it's positive thoughts, it's recognizing and facing things that you've experienced in your life. And instead of, at least for me, instead of me carrying them around with me feeling like those are the things that held me back, I started looking at them as the things that helped me become stronger and that I learned from. And then I could take that and incorporate it into my present and my future and help me be a better person in today and then a better person in the future, as well as healing different traumas from my childhood, sexual abuse, losing my dad to me a young age, watching my parents go through incredible things, and just different things that as I've done this work, I've learned so many people have experienced, but they don't share it. So sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, addiction, losing children, not being able to have babies, cancer, medical, everything. It's something that is one of the most amazing things. So Reiki is a modality because there are many healing modalities, even massage and acupuncture and cranial sacral and just so many different things out there that are holistic in nature. They call it New Age, but it's actually old school. It's been around, it's ancient, it's all ancient knowledge and philosophy and ideology.
Now, where did it start? I mean, do you know when or?
The Reiki, so they say in 1922, Dr. Yasui, who is a Japanese healing technique,
Okay.
right, which was the first time that they're using it. But if you look, and you look further into history, you have Einstein believed in energy, right?
Right.
And then you have Tesla, who believes in the universal law, and he talks about the sequence of a 369 manifestation. Because we all have amazing abilities. We're all born with the ability to manifest. Instincts, intuition, love, compassion, kindness, taking care of ourselves. We come in with these natural traits, and then life happens, and people start to forget who we really are. So we have the ability. People say so much, I want this in my life, and this happens. That's manifesting. But it's how you put out there what you want to receive. So if you say, I don't want someone in my life that's mean and abusive, but you keep getting mean and abusive people in your life, that's because that's what you're stating. The don't, it's not the don't, it's the subject matter. But if you say, I want a healthy, loving, caring, compassionate relationship, you'll start to manifest those people into your life.
They will
because
be
that's your
attracted to you
focus.
because of the energy that you're projecting.
And it's also not just projecting it, it's living it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right?
Yep.
So when we ask for things to be a certain way or people to be a certain way, my question to those people are you being that person yourself? Right?
Good question.
Right? How do you ask someone else to be something if you're not exemplifying, right? If you're not reflective of those own traits yourself. So in order to have your exterior be a certain way, we work on our interior, our thought process, our feelings, our goals, our perspectives, how we feel, what we see, what we do. Does that make sense?
It does. Actually, it does.
Okay.
Yes.
So once you start formulating this and you start recognizing this, it feeds your faith. One of the things I've started implementing is faith over fear. Fear holds us back from doing the most amazing things in our life. Fear stops us from taking chances or crossing the threshold or walking into something that could bring us everything we've ever wanted. But you hear, I don't have enough money, or it's not the right time, or any excuse they can. But if it wasn't meant for you, it wouldn't be in front of you. It was placed there for, you asked for something, and it's like God or creator or spirit or whatever anyone believes in is gifting you this present that you asked for. But then so many people are like, I'm not ready. You are. It's here. So it's also recognizing that you're worthy and valuable Also recognizing that you're worth everything beautiful in this life. And the Reiki and the energy work, which I've expanded my Reiki into energy work and doing it more universal law, karmic law. If you study that, it'll be very interesting. I think people should actually be more mindful of that almost than man-made law, because it gives you a sense of who you truly are inside. It gives you a sense that you're not just working for yourself, and it's not just working on you, but what you do inside really affects everybody else on the exterior. You can, if you look at the temperature of things going around, some days people are super happy, and you look around and you're with really happy people. You can be in a great mood and walk into a room and somebody's really not happy, and your mood can change that fast because that's an empath. Those are our sensitivities. Those are empathic abilities that we can pick up senses from other people. We can do it with people that are across the country, in other countries, across the state next to us, right? We have the ability, because it's energetic, to feel and perceive things. But a lot of times it's so similar to what we may be experiencing in our lives, in our own lives, that people perceive it to be their problem. When sometimes it's really just being empathetic and feeling somebody else's, and you're just not sure, because if you're not aware of this, you can't sit there and ask yourself, is this mine or is this somebody else's?
So what do you actually do? Like, I have done a session.
Yes.
But how does that work?
So, prayer. People say prayers for one another, or blessing, or well wishes. It's almost kind of like that in a simplistic term. So what you're doing is that you're working with loving, positive energy from, again, universal law. This is a non-religious practice, so we honor everything. Everybody, every person, every walk of life, there is, it's complete acceptance of whatever it is that somebody's experiencing. So you work within what that is best for them, and it just is like you're pulling this energy from a higher source, and we're almost like a vessel and a conduit to help transfer and work with it. And then people that come in session, they can come in for relaxation, headaches, like I said, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional. And it's not one or the other. It can be everything. And they come in, and we have a nice room. And you lay on what's basically a massage table. You can do hands-on or hands-off. I prefer hands-off because I like to just work over everybody and just give them their own space, unless it's somebody that prefers to have like a certain place worked on by touch, right? And you always get permission for that. And you just facilitate this energy, and what it does is we work on releasing old energy or things that aren't for their best and highest good. So say somebody has a knee injury and you go to their knee and you start working with it. Well, that injury is made from something, but energy is stuck in there. So we work on releasing it and removing it, and then putting in positive, loving energy that helps to heal it. It's not an easy concept to,
no, it isn't, and this is.
But you have to experience it to understand it, because it's just to hear somebody say, "I can put my hands on you and help your headache go away." People would be like, "You're crazy."
Well, no.
But it works.
Well, obviously, a lot of the stuff has to work because it's been around for so long, and so many people are interested or involved in going to sessions. So there has to be some positive result here.
Yeah.
I know when I went, I'd had an injury, and you concentrated, and I could feel the temperature, the difference in temperature. Now, I don't think, I wouldn't be very skeptical. I'll be very honest with you, because I thought, well, like probably with most people, the inexperience, the unknown, and the whole concept that they really don't understand, which I didn't. And I'm thinking, now, really? And as you're doing your thing, I felt, just in that one location where my injury was, I felt a marked difference in temperature. So whatever, I don't know how that would have happened because the rest of me was one temperature, that area was another temperature. And so when I asked you about it afterwards, you were working on channeling that bad energy, I guess you call it, to have it leave. And that's probably what it was doing, because it was certainly, like I said, I was skeptical, but it was certainly a physical thing where I felt the difference in the temperature in that particular location. So, right, wrong, or indifferent, there was definitely something there.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still in a learning process with this because I don't fully understand it, and probably a lot of people out there don't, and that's why I wanted you to come in.
Yes.
Because it's interesting, and obviously it works.
Yes, and it works so well that they incorporate it into hospitals across the country. They offer, I actually volunteer at a hospital in Syracuse doing energy work and working with the nurses, patients, people that are coming in, family members of patients, cancer facilities use it. It's just an amazing tool. It's not here to take over, but it's a great addition. And if you're somebody that's not medically inclined, that likes to take pills or medicine or antibiotics and things like that, this is a great alternative. There's so many different things: oils, food, energy, like I said, thought process, everything. This work saved my life. It saved my life in the sense that it allowed me to bring out who I really knew I was inside, and it allowed me to have pride in myself. It gave me confidence. It fueled me to strive to be a better me each and every moment. And I've completely changed my life around. When I was younger, there was trauma. Like I mentioned, different things had happened. I will share one thing I learned when I was 7. There was some sexual abuse, and that carried through my adulthood. Not recognizing the impact, but with a few factors involved, it came flooding back and really did some damage to my life. Thankfully, with this work and being able to go deep down into those places when I was so young. So that's the thing too. It allows you to go to places that people have buried. When they say, push it aside or turn your head or, just put it behind you or whatever the case is, you're not letting something go. You're just putting it in a place that you're not seeing it, but it's still there, and you don't heal it and you don't evolve from it.
So is this more or less like a safe way to address issues in your life, to cleanse yourself of it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's that perfect word. Exactly. You're cleansing yourself of everything that doesn't benefit you. You're releasing ghosts of your past. You're facing fears of things that you might feel about yourself that are repetitive because of what other people said that are not true about you at all. Everyone has a story, and not everybody remembers their story, but their body remembers their story because it reacts. You hear people have triggers. So your body has reactions to different things because your body holds that trauma. Your mind and your subconscious hold that trauma, but your conscious self might not.
Might not want to deal with it.
Right, but this is a safe way. It's a caring, it's a compassionate, it's a loving way to support people. People ask me what I do. I don't have an answer for that because I do whatever somebody needs me to do. If they need somebody to have counsel and listen, I can do that. If somebody needs a hug, I do that. If somebody comes in for a full energy session, I do that. If somebody wants to change their vocabulary and start manifesting things, I help them learn new word usage. So my job is to cheerlead, facilitate, help, support, love, share kindness, compassion. Come in, we always have chocolate or something to share.
Yes, you do. Yes, I have to say that. It's good chocolate, too.
But the thing is, you walk into the studio or you walk into a space, you can feel a difference from the outside world to where we are in that space because it was created with love and care and compassion and honesty and safety and everything beautiful, so that anybody that's come in that doesn't feel that they're worthy or they belong or they matter, anything, you walk in this space and it's like a hug. It's like, come on in and you're here. And people find me when they have nowhere else to go. I have recognized over the years that a lot of people that walk in are like, I didn't even know you existed, but I needed something, and I Googled or I drove by, my car turned around, I dreamt about being in the studio. Somebody walked in one day, I've never been here. But those were the people that didn't have any more hope. They didn't know where to go. And they found.
So it's a combination. It's a whole big, it's mind, body, spirit, the whole thing.
Everything.
I mean, somebody come in like I did. They had an injury,
Yeah.
or they've got a headache,
Yeah.
or they feel that there are emotional toxins in their
Yeah.
body. Now you don't. I know that you also get involved with the colors.
Yeah, so our bodies have energy centers, which are called chakras, which are spinning wheels, and they represent different aspects of us. And it starts from your root, right over your pelvic bone, up into where your soft spot was when you were a child. And there are main energy centers. So you have, and they correlate with the rainbow. So your root chakra is like your stability and your foundation, and that's red. And then you have your sacral, which is your sexuality, your creativity, your relationships, orange. Your solar plex are your self-worth and self-value, that's yellow. Your heart, green, compassion, love. Your voice is your communication, that's blue. Your third eye is your intuition, indigo. And then your spirituality and your crown chakra is heaven, and my favorite color, and that's violet. So if you're ever looking for something, you're like, oh, I need a little more love in my life, go put something green on. Or if you're like, I really want to build my foundation and really feel stronger and my confidences, put red and orange on. And it fuels it. Crystals, oils, nature, walking outside and stepping in the grass. You know, it sounds funny and everybody has different terminology or their feelings about what we do, but I will tell you what, it makes life better. It's not easy. This work is probably one of the least easiest things you'll ever do, because it's making you hold your own self accountable for your life. But it's also the most powerful, because when you take responsibility and accountability for everything that's happened, even if it's at somebody else's hand, it gives you power that allows you to walk forward and take that power out of everybody else's hands, and it keeps it with you and allows you to move forward in your best way.
Now that is, all right, what would you say, if you had to say, what is the primary goal of Reiki, as far as you're concerned? I mean, maybe it's different with everybody.
It's different with everybody.
It is, but as far as your personal experiences, what do you see as the primary goal?
For me, personally?
Well, just for other people. I know everybody has different needs.
Whatever anybody needs, that's the thing. I can't speak for somebody else and what it would do for them, because it's what they need it to do for them.
Well, then the goal would be to help them achieve that goal.
Their own self,
yes,
their own
right.
self goals.
Okay.
So
okay.
whether it's materialistic, whether it's emotional, whether it's spiritual, it's whatever they want. So I have friends, and everybody that comes in is always welcome as a family member, and they have support, and the great relationships have formed from that time.
What was your end game when you first got involved? What did you want to do? What did you want to accomplish? What did you want to feel?
Opening the studio or the Reiki work?
The Reiki work, starting with the Reiki.
Heal myself.
Okay.
I was looking for something to completely change my life around.
And it did.
And it absolutely did. 100%.
Well, and that certainly helps when you're trying to help other people, because it worked for you, and you're living proof that it's real and it works.
The main reason I opened the studio was because of what this work did for my life. And I stood outside one day and looked up to the sky, and I made a promise. And I said, when it's my time and you show me I'm ready, I will open a business, so that I know the people that cross my thresholds need to learn what I've learned to help them save their life. And that's what I did. And that's what I continue to do.
And you've been doing this for how long? 15 years?
I opened the studio in 2013 here in Baldwinsville, but I started doing energy work and coaching in 2008. So yeah, we're on, 16 years now?
I know.
Yeah.
And it's always a work in progress, too.
Every minute.
Because every situation is different.
Yes, and it's not even a day-by-day thing. It's a moment-by-moment thing. A day is a big chunk.
Yes, it
to
is.
bite off.
Yes.
And people don't recognize it. And they're like, today I'm going to do this. No, in this moment I'm going to do this, because we don't know what's going to happen throughout our day, or what's going to happen, whether with ourselves, globally, just locally, like so many different things with people. Things happen split second.
Let me ask you this. In doing some of your sessions, do you ever feel like a sense of responsibility? Sometimes is it overwhelming? The energy with these people, sometimes I'm sure it's very negative energy. Does that go into you, and how do you get rid of that? So
when you learn and you teach and you're receiving and doing this work, you learn to release that. You are removing it from other people, and you are a conduit and you are facilitating it, but you learn how to ground, you learn how to release it. There are different practices that you can do to remove that negative energy from ourselves. Me personally, I've had some really interesting experiences over the years.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, some people come in and they have so much grief, but they can't cry. And at first it wasn't easy to get used to, because you don't show emotion. A lot of people are taught. I be in session and all of a sudden I'm crying and like sobbing, but I'm realizing it's not me, it's what I'm removing, because they can't do it. They're not ready to do it. Some people are afraid to cry because they don't think it'll ever stop. Some people don't cry because we've been taught that it's weak and sadness and despair and just everything negative. But what it really is it's love. Tears are the overflow of love from our heart that come from our eyes, because that's what we're made of. We're loving. So when you lose somebody, it's not that you're sad that they're gone, but it's the love that you have for that person that you're experiencing. When people get married and they have tears of joy, that's what the tears are. It's love. But we put it to different things, and then people started telling others, don't do that because it makes you look a certain way. You start holding that in, and that's where our ailments come in. The negative energy and the holding on to trauma, that's where our bodies start to talk to us and let us know something in our environment, something in our exterior, our thought process, how we're perceiving things isn't for our best and highest good. So headaches metaphysically mean that you're not validating yourself. You don't believe in what you're doing or yourself, and people get headaches. Coughing. There it's said that you want to be heard. So you're choking on your words because people push them down, but they get this cough because they're not speaking. And it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to say it to somebody else. Have those honest conversations with yourself. Any conversation that we start with really should start here. And the answers aren't out there. I don't have somebody else's answers. However, I have the tools to help that person find their own answers and find what's best for them and work on what it is that they want. But it's up to each person to do the work, because without you doing the work, you're never going to get anywhere. Nobody else can do anything for us better than we can do it for ourselves.
Very good. Well, I thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have been enlightened, and I hope the viewers have been enlightened on Reiki. It's a whole different concept.
Yes.
And obviously, it's worked for you.
Yeah.
And I thank you for being here. I have to say that your energy, your positive energy, I can feel it. And I'm smiling because of you, and I thank you.
Thank you.
But anyways, thank you so much. I appreciate you spending the time with us. And it is Reiki, not Reiki.
Thank you for having me.